Welcome back to Team FastEddy. This is going to be the first video in a series of building the Axial EXO Terra buggy. We're real excited about this build. We've been waiting for this kit for a while now and finally got it in. If you've been following along with any of my other builds, you know that we usually start off at the beginning by unpacking the box, going over the directions, how to read the directions properly for the new people, and also the tools that we're going to be using. So bear with us through the first video in this series, and then after that we're gonna get going. We're gonna build the EXO Terra buggy page by page, exactly like it is in the manual. And that way, if there are mistakes in the manual, we'll get through that together. You'll also learn some tips and some tricks, and we're going to have some fun along the way. So if you're looking to purchase a Terra buggy EXO, and you're just a little bit anxious about building a kit because you've never done it, this is a great series for you. If you're an accomplished builder and you just want a few little tips and tricks as you go along just to double check what you're doing, that's a great video series for that as well. So kick back and enjoy, and we're going to go ahead and start unpacking the box. Before we get going, let's get a few basics out of the way. Let's go ahead and start off with some of the tools that we'll be using. Basically, we're just going to be using a general set of metric Allen wrenches. The choice is yours, what brand you want, but you're going to need just your basic set and sizes. We're also going to be using a wire cutter. Any wire cutter will do. We're going to use that for taking pieces off of the trees and doing some general trimming. You're also going to want to get yourself a needle-nosed pliers. Those are going to be used for putting on clips and for trying to hold little screws and whatnot that come along during the build. You're going to want to get yourself some cutting tools. We use razor blades a lot. We like to get them nice and sharp, so we keep plenty of them on hand, and those are used for trimming the parts off of trees. Also, we like to have a box cutter or a little heavier cutting utensil for sometimes getting some of the thicker pieces off the trees or doing some trimming on A-arms and whatnot. This should be, we'll probably introduce a few more tools along the line. However, this is pretty much it as far as your basic set of tools. You're going to want a needle nose, a cutter, Allen wrenches of the proper size, and some cutting utensils. You'll also see here that we're using a building mat that's put out by Cow RC. As you can see, it is upside down. We did a little bit of cow tipping. For my bench, and doing the videos, having the screws and parts down here, I tend to knock them off onto the floor, so I've turned it around and will keep my parts up there. But this is available from Cow RC, and it's a magnetized mat, which is really nice for working on stuff. It's white, you can see your parts, and definitely worth looking into. We will also be using, somewhere down the road, a couple of other little tools that you may see that save some time. One of them is going to be an electric screwdriver, which we're going to make sure on these little models that is set to a very light clutch. And then also for building some of the smaller parts, we've got the smaller unit of the Cow RC mat that you'll see us use occasionally during the build as well. So very, very simple set of tools. Alright, at this point we're going to go ahead and open up the box. We're building this from scratch. We're building it live, so as you can see, the box has never been opened, so this build is just like you're going to do it from start to finish. I'm going to go ahead and open up the box. I'm going to pull this to the side because we don't have a lot of room on our bench, and we'll investigate what's in here. Randomly grabbing stuff out of the box here. Looks like to start off we have several plastic bags full of plastic parts, and they actually say plastic bags on there. Here's plastic Plastic 2 and 3. We're going to just do an inventory here. Plastics number 6. We also have our miscellaneous, which looks basically like the body. We also have a miscellaneous 2, which looks like more interior seats and body parts that we'll get to. Pulling more stuff out of the box here. Let's see what we got. We have a plastic bag 4. A bag full of bags. How's that? A bag of bags. We have a bag D, which is the chassis with some other parts and stuff in there. We have a plastic bag number 5. We have a, read first. See revised steps 6 and 7 revised. Parts included in supplements bag. And if you don't read that, you can read that. Big green label. Put that one in front. And then we have plastic bag number 1. So we can do a little bit of an inventory here. Plastic bag 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have all those. We have a supplement bag. We have a bag of bags and bag D. Digging more stuff out of the box here. There's a lot of stuff in here. We've got 4 tires, 4 foams. Do an inventory on those, make sure that they're all there. Straighten that foam out in there. Give a little bit of time to relax in the proper position. We'll do the same on this one. Looks like they were in a hurry to put them into the tires at the factory. Must have been lunchtime. There we go. Okay, we've got a bag with 4 wheels and a directions bag that contains some grease and a little tool as well as some Loctite. Let's go ahead and get that out. We're going to need that to get going on our build. So we're going to take out this little bag here and put it aside. Okay, so that's all the parts. What we're going to do now is inventory the parts that are in the other parts bag here. We're going to get rid of our plastics for the time being. We're going to go ahead and open up this bag, do an inventory, make sure it's all there. Alright, let's see if we remembered anything in school here. A is first. B. C. Oh, there we go. D, A, B, C, D. E, F, G, H, I, J, and some spur gears. So go ahead and inventory everything here, make sure all the bags are there and that there are no missing bags. We've built several Axial kits throughout the last couple of years, and one of the things that we've learned is that there's usually never any rhyme nor reason as far as the instruction manual goes to which plastic bag that parts are in, depending on which part of the manual. So if you're starting to build from page 1, one would think that plastic bag number 1 would have the parts in that you use first. Bag number 2, as you can go down through the directions, but that is not so. Several companies are very conscientious about that, and Axial is not one. We find ourselves doing a huge amount of box hopping or bag hopping. So what we do is we take all of our plastic parts and we dump them into a big bucket and we put them on the side of our workbench. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we'll be right back. And there we go, a big bucket of parts. Yay. I do want to mention, don't dump the revised parts into that box, because we're going to make sure that we keep these separate. They're in here for a reason. So let's just keep that separate off to the side until we come to step number 6 and 11. Next thing that we're going to do is take a look at the manual and just basically point out a few things to learn how to read the manual just a little bit better. The manual is well put together, as Axial manuals generally are, but there is a way to go about reading them. Starting off on the first page, it's going to show you that the tools that we're going to need, basically they're the same tools that we went over. Showing us we need a 1.5, a 2, and a 2.5. So I guess I need to exchange that one for that one, because we will not be needing a 3. Okay. It also goes over the equipment that you're going to need. Does not come with electronics, so you're going to need a transmitter, a servo, receiver, and an ESC setup, as well as a motor and a battery. So we'll go over all of this stuff as we come along to it. We're going to use some stuff that we have on hand here. However, electronics are completely up to you, and there's many different choices. So we suggest that you do a little bit of research. If you don't know where to go to look or to ask questions on this particular vehicle, I would go to rcshortcourse.com. Again, that's rcshortcourse.com. It's a forum. There's plenty of knowledgeable people there to help you get going. The next few pages are going to show us the different tree numbers and what is located on each one of those trees. I'm going to grab a tree here just to show you how this works. And let's see, that's not the same tree. Let's try to find the same tree here. Here we go. There we go. This is the same tree. Each of the trees are going to have a tab on them, as you can see, and it has AX8005. That's the tree number. And as we read the directions, it's going to show you the tree number, and then each part has a number, such as part number 1, 2, 3, and so on. So as you're reading the manual, it's going to say use tree number 8005-3, and that will be the part on the tree. Pretty easy and straightforward. It's going through all the different parts that are available, the different part numbers in case you need to refer back, or if you break something and need to order, or if you're missing something in the kit, you're going to have the part number available for you. It goes over everything that's included in the kit, the bearings, the screws, and it's a very comprehensive list. And then we get to the building directions. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. There we go. The directions are arranged very simply. The left-hand column is going to show you the parts that are needed out of the bags, not necessarily the plastic parts, but the parts out of the bags, and how many screws and the part number and how many units for each thing. So before we get going on each step, we're going to refer to this, gather our parts up, and then as we start building, we're going to gather up our plastic parts and start building. As you go along, you can see on the top it says open bag A. And basically what that means is everything that you're going to need as far as hard parts are going to be in bag A. So we're going to open up bag A, and we're going to separate out all of our parts in our little trays here, If you don't have a cow building mat, then you can just use little bowls or something to keep everything, but we're going to start digging into the bags that are in bag A to fulfill this. Next time we need to open another bag, it's going to tell us that these parts and to open bag B to get going on those. So it's fairly straightforward. We're going to go slow, and we're going to be a little bit retarded here as we go along, and we're going to point out each individual part number as we go along. We're also going to point out different tree numbers and tab numbers so that you can get used to building it. And we're going to do that for the first few steps, and then we're just going to start rolling a lot quicker. So we're this far along. We're going to get started by opening up bag A and starting to build the EXO Terra Buggy.